I never scripted a video. I kind of went into a video thinking, this is what we're going to talk about. I feel like even from watching videos myself, that if you're too structured, polished, scripted, it starts sounding like an ad. And people, I think, are past the ad now. I think the ad in video format's changed now, especially with social media.
Now today I have a special guest, Ron Stafford, who is also a member of EO, which is an organization that I recently joined. It has amazing people in there, but I thought I'd get Ron on to share his journey on YouTube, about YouTube and how he's chosen that channel to grow his business. So Ronnie, welcome.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for having me.
So tell the audience a little bit about your business and what it does.
Okay, so we are in the caravan and RV industry. Our business has two parts to it. We are a canvas manufacturer, so we manufacture annex rooms and awning systems to suit caravans and motorhomes. But we also have a workshop that will add appliances and various accessories to the RV post-sale. So, we have two very different sections going on, but they kind of complement each other as well.
Gotcha. I love it. My husband's also in manufacturing, so I kind of, understand a little bit about the hard work that you guys put in there. So tell me more about what got you onto YouTube. Why did you decide to go into that route?
Okay, so the very first when I first decided to do YouTube, I felt at that time that my business as an annex manufacturer was potentially not being found, or I wasn't known broadly to be available for the marketplace to use our services. And I feel like we hit a ceiling of inquiry, if you like, locally, where I just felt like there's so many more people buying these things, they don't know we've got a really good product, I felt, and we had lots to offer. So then, of course, my mind started working out, how am I going to start to tap into those others outside of my immediate area here in Brisbane? And I thought, well, YouTube would be a good platform to potentially start to create some content videos around our products, what we do, give them some insight to our factory operations and different things. And, and then once we started, we got some really positive results early, and it inspired us to kick on and continue to create. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah. So what were some of those benefits that you got from posting these videos on YouTube? And did you also leverage it on other platforms as well, like maybe on your website, etc.?
Yes, sure. So yeah, absolutely. Key benefit is with YouTube that I found with my experience is you can deliver your sales pitch, if you like, your unique selling proposition, all your features, functions, benefits in such a structured or a straight way, because obviously as a viewer of YouTube, when the prospect's watching a video, they're passive. There's no interaction. They're not going to be able to ask you questions. So you can I found it really good to really get down in detail to what our product was and why it was the benefit. And people are more, I find, are more willing to sit and listen when they're passive versus a conversation. They want to jump off different ways. So the big benefit I found with YouTube was I could basically educate my prospects on everything we did and why we did it. Therefore, when they finally reached out to us to then kind of go that next step, we weren't starting at square one. We were starting at square four. And the sales process then becomes so much more simpler, because they'd really decided this is the one for me. And essentially just ringing up to confirm a few things and book themselves in. So it revolutionized how many people we were getting exposed to, at what stage they were coming to us on. And essentially now our phone rings pretty much, a lot of them will say, we just saw the video on blah and we're interested. So it's just bringing the sales funnel in so much easier for us.
Yeah. And some of these videos were probably the ones you've done a year or 2 years ago, right? It's not just the recent video. Some videos still work. It's like a virtual sales rep that works 24/7.
It absolutely does. You're exactly right. Now, we ran our channel to about 80 videos in that first kind of year or two that we were creating. And then COVID changed our world for the better. mind you,
Mm.
because what happened initially was everyone got locked down. But then
Yeah.
after that first month or 2 months, I said, okay, now you can start traveling within your state. Now you can start going further in your state. But you can't go overseas and you can't get on a cruise liner, right?
Yeah.
So what were
Uh-huh.
people doing? People went, oh, well, we'll give this caravan thing a go. So our business in particular benefited massively from COVID, which then put an immense amount of operational load on us. So my
Mm.
priority, I suppose, then had to shift to servicing the client. But of course, because we'd done the hard yards with the video prior, you know, all those prospects as they were flooding into our market space because they were kind of semi-forced to because of conditions, found my videos, understood. It built the trust. It built we were feeding them knowledge, and they were like, this is the guy for me. So it worked really well.
Yeah, I love that. So do you also feel a lot of the audience who watched you felt like they like and trust you as well because they were watching you, consuming your content for so long? Do you feel like it, with video itself, it increases that trustability?
I never scripted a video. I kind of went into a video thinking, this is what we're going to talk about. I feel like even from watching videos myself, that if you're too structured, polished, scripted, it starts sounding like an ad. And people, I think, are past the ad now. I think the ad in video format's changed now, especially with social media. So I really just eventually learned to look at that camera lens as a customer that was asking me a question. And essentially, once I got comfortable, like that first kind of half a dozen videos, yeah, no question, a bit like really sketchy and not so like fluent. But actually, once you've done a few and you realize there's actually nothing to be tense about, then I found delivering videos and coming on a ad lib approach, coming from a place of genuine authenticity, it just comes easier. And people, I think they hear it differently, and I feel like that feeds the trust because they kind of can sense that you're coming from a genuine place.
Yeah, and many times people mistaken someone on YouTube as, oh, you love videos because you're natural on videos. But I used to be really shy, so I want to hear from you as well. Like, was it hard to get on videos at the beginning? But obviously at the end you've gone to the other side, and now it's a lot easier, right? But I just want to hear, your perspective, so people go, hey, we're all the same. We all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, what I quickly worked out, when you start making videos, then all of a sudden you start stopping on other people's videos in your own sphere when you're on your own social media account and those feeds are coming. I started to really watch videos differently. And what didn't matter, one of the things I felt didn't matter was what they looked like, where they were, that kind of initial fear that most people go, oh no, I can't get up, I'm not good looking, or I can't talk properly, or there's all these barriers that people are fearful of. But realistically, what I worked out was you're really just listening to the information they're offering. And if you're hearing their story and you're hearing their message, it doesn't matter if he's wearing a pink shirt or a blue shirt, you're hearing the information, you're hearing the message, and that resonates. And then once you kind of work out they don't really care what color hair you've got or what you might be or not be, they really watch your message, watch your story, be clear, be succinct, and give them a story. And once I learnt those elements more and started paying attention to it, I found that even though I still did an ad lib delivery of my videos, I kind of was able to structure my videos better as I went because I was paying attention to those little subtleties of creation.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning experience. When we first start out on anything, it just feels so overwhelming and hard. And then, nowadays I can pull out a camera and just shoot and say whatever. But I guess, I just always want to remind people that don't worry, none of us were experts at the beginning. But video for me, I feel like it's the one skill set that a business owner needs to have nowadays, right? Like to be able to leverage ourselves because there's only one of us and we can't talk one-on-one to everybody.
Well, Lynn, as well as many, is that the smartphones of today with the quality cameras and sound that they can actually produce straight off your phone. Like, you don't need fancy cameras, lighting and microphones much anymore. You can send straight off your iPhone and have it online within seconds after you've finished. And with the apps and editors that are available now, no one's looking for perfection. No one wants to see a perfectly edited video. In actual fact, I would argue that's now becoming the less desired approach. They'd rather see someone real and raw
Yep.
because they can feel like that's someone like me, and I'm going to listen to that person because I feel like I can relate. So
Yep.
I've found lose any fear around how polished it is, because it's not the polish, it's the content, it's the message.
Yeah, I love it. So when you first started, what kind of team did you put together to actually help you produce that many videos?
Yeah, so what I did is actually advertise for a video production person for my staff.
So you hired someone in-house?
Well, that's how I approached it, right?
Okay, yeah.
What happened was, through that process of interviewing, I soon worked out that actually there's people who are prepared just to give you some time in their week that you can obviously remunerate them for. So what happened with me is I put a fellow on who was not long out of his university studies. So he was still trying to establish his own media company and start doing videoing and corporate videos for business. So I got him early, and then essentially we just made a pact together. I said, tell you what, how about you come every Tuesday morning and you turn up here and we will video something. It's going to be 2 hours or 4 hours depending on what we do. And then that made me have to get myself kind of semi-organised across the week. But then the way it flowed, Lynn, was he would come on a Tuesday and shoot. And then when he come back for the next Tuesday, that week before was edited and ready for publishing. And then he would come and then we'd do another thing. And then essentially we went through all the major things first, the key products, all the kind of salesy stuff. But then probably what happened was we ran out of salesy content, because essentially you've only got so many products. And I mean, some companies might have lots of products. They got lots of product videos to shoot, and there's still a lot of products I haven't done. But basically we just did on a rolling week, and it forced me to do the videos, and it forced me. But what it gave me a video to upload every week, and then obviously that started to gain momentum. Subscribers started to connect because they were getting regular feed. And look, it doesn't just boom necessarily. Like, it takes time to organically grow your subscribers.
Yeah.
However, once the work's done, the work's done. And yeah, absolutely. I used to share.
I love that. Yeah. You know what? So I have a YouTube agency, but I have to thank YouTube. Over 10 years ago, my husband found me on YouTube.
Really?
So it's just kind of come in full circle right now.
Right.
So I just laugh at what really happened. But over 10 years ago, I just did 1 or 2 videos because I had a marketing agency and I just published something. And surprisingly, it brought me someone that I have no idea about who he was. So that's why I moved from Melbourne to Sydney. So the power of it is amazing. But what I do admire you is that your consistency, because I started 10 years ago, did a few videos, then kind of got lazy, and you don't want to put the hard work in. That's the thing. You want that short, quick win, but it doesn't work that way. So what got you to really see that so clearly and really commit to doing that consistency?
I think I just wanted to ensure that if I was going to do it, I was going to do it with a fair bit of concentrated effort, not to make it overtake everything I was doing. I had to make it easy to manage, to integrate. I mean, I know there's people who take out days of their weeks and they'll do a massive shoot and produce, maybe 10 or 20 videos inside of 2 or 3, or shoot that content and then edit it up over time, right? I just didn't find that suited my approach. The other thing with having a workshop is bands come and go. So that every week there was something different on the floor and there was something new to talk about. But then what I did, Lynn, is I started to go to our Caravan Industry trade shows. So that was they're a big affair. We get 40 to 50,000 people attend those across the 6 days. But then, of course, you've got all the caravan makers and dealers all on show with their flags out. So eventually I started taking my video guide to a caravan show, right? So then we'd go and meet some industry fellow businesses and go, hey, take us for a walk through your best caravan you've got. So then we started just building content around associated topics, not just my topic. And I found that helped to give me more content. It also helped to kind of simmer down the sales approach, where you too much sales, people kind of think, oh, this guy's just trying to keep selling me something. I had to come with some content that was neutral, that was still of interest to my market, but not directly me to them. So I found that. And then the knock on for that, in a trade perspective, all of a sudden now I'm making lots of relationships with trade entities, not just retail clients, which has now spawned more business for us. So we're gaining trade leads and relationships off the back of the content creation for the retail consumer.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the flexibility in YouTube. I found that is you use it also like a podcast interview, right? Like, so I have a playlist where I'm interviewing people, but then I have a playlist where I'm educating people. So there's just so much more flexibility within the channel that you can create content. But it comes down to you doing it so much that you start to get more creative, more comfortable at coming up with ideas and stuff. And so it's really great to see that you've achieved that success. So I guess to wrap it up, what would be an encouraging word you would say to someone, a business owner wanting to generate leads on YouTube but still a bit hesitant?
Look, I'd suggest, look, my business absolutely changed the day I started putting videos on. If you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to get your market educated on why your products or services may be of the best option for them. If you want to raise your profile, if you just want to go forward in leaps and bounds, like that's what's happened for me, right? So as soon as I started doing videos, all the measures went up. And yes, some of the measures in a financial sense, you have to invest into making these videos. It doesn't necessarily happen for free if you want someone to manage the shooting of it and the editing of it, and you would have to partner with a good company to help you produce your videos. And if that's your barrier, understand this: whatever you think the video costs is unreasonable or too much, or that's money I don't know if I should spend. From my perspective, every cent multiplied by who knows by now has repaid me on the investment. So you can edit yourself, you can shoot yourself and keep the initial cost right down, but you're probably less likely to do it because it's not your field of expertise. I would say just jump in. If you can't do it yourself, pay someone, right? Even if you give yourself a modest budget to start, get half a dozen videos done, then start splashing them around. See what type of change you see, and then you'll start seeing the power of it. So don't be hesitant. Just get started. Don't worry about the polish. Don't worry about the delivery. Just get started, and you will see. You will see the power.
Thank you, Ronnie. Yeah, and that was my inspiration for starting it, because when I was going through the journey, I was wishing that there was an agency that just does it all for me and I'll just turn up and shoot. But at that time, there was no one that understood the whole keyword SEO and thumbnail design. I had to pretty much put a team together, and after doing it for so long, I was like, you know what, no one's going to do it, so I'm going to put it together. So that's what I'm hoping to help bridge that barrier for people, because
and an ironic point, use YouTube to work out how you can make better YouTube videos.
Exactly. YouTube is everything now.
So many people the world over now who are producing content on all sorts of topics, as you know. YouTube is a massive platform. It's literally like its own internet sphere in some ways, because there's so much on there, isn't there? You've got a typical search engine and you've got YouTube. I mean, let's face it, Google and YouTube pretty much, that's the number 2 search engines. And the best part nowadays is there's so many other social media channels that requires you to make content. So repurposing, cutting into smaller snippets from your long form content has been a game changer for me as well. But because when I used to got my coach telling me to make 1 or 2 minute videos, I was like, what am I going to say in 1 minute? How do I stop talking after 60 seconds, And one of the best methods is actually just doing long form first, and then, cutting it into smaller bite sizes for all the channels. Correct. Absolutely fantastic point. You can re-engineer that content so many ways. So do a 10-minute video, and if your editor or yourself are smart, pull out those key statements. It's that 1 or 2 sentences around the fluff, if you like, that hammers a message or a point home. Grab that part out, plonk it somewhere different. That's your lead generator to get them back onto the main. Sorry, I feel like I'm telling you, you know it all, but
the audience watching this, and we wanted to hear your perspective, and I'm glad that we both agree.
Yeah, it certainly makes this interview a lot smoother. But no, look, honestly, if you're sitting back going, should I, shouldn't I? You absolutely should. If you've got a market that needs your advice and needs your products and why they need your product, you absolutely need to get on YouTube. And even if it's not you directly and you put one of your sales managers, it doesn't matter who it is, because as I said earlier, they don't care what you look like and who you are. They want the information and they want you to resonate with them. And also, one massive point to finish that I've realized is not everyone is your customer. So be absolutely comfortable knowing, because you've got two main audiences, right? You've got the people who know you personally, and you've got the people who don't even know who you are before they look at your video. Now, the people who know you personally, they have a context to judge you, right? Because this is Ronnie. I see Ronnie, and look, he's on the video screen and he's talking about himself again or talking about something again, and you're going to expect social anxiety around next time you see them, right? Because you're like, oh, what are they going to think about me? But don't forget, the people you're actually talking to have never met you before. So there's no prejudgment, there's no precursor to anything. So they don't have any judgment from the start, and then just judging you purely on your information. So, and not everyone's your customer. So therefore, if the video doesn't resonate, they're just going to flick past you. But that's okay, because you just need the people who are going to resonate with you. That's the only ones you need. And
I love it.
It's huge. So don't be fearful. Just get straight in and get it done.
I love it, Ronnie. I love your enthusiasm. So thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to leave all your details in the description as well, your channel and your business website, so we can all check it out. Thank you for spending time with me today, Ronnie.
An absolute pleasure.